welcome to the May 24th Tualatin City Council regular City Council meeting. I'm overjoyed you can join us tonight. We have quite a few things, a very critical proclamation, some really good presentations, and of course some government business to do in the consent agenda. So with that, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight it'll be led by Councilor Pratt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilor Pratt. Councilor Brooks is not here tonight, and she usually leads us in the moment of silence for those who have lost their lives to COVID-19. Just got an email with the latest stats. Unfortunately, 2,624 Oregonians have lost their lives due to COVID. As of today, there are about 198,000 COVID cases since the outbreak. Good news is that we're getting out about 30,000 doses a day of the COVID vaccine. As many of you know, 12 and older now can get the vaccine. It's accessible at your pharmacies, your doctors. I believe next week, the Portland Airport and the Convention Center will be shutting down and only giving second doses. So if you haven't got your vaccine yet, please contact your doctor, go to a pharmacy, and there'll be other outlets in the community that you can get your shot. We need to get to about 70%, and that's 70% of our population, at least one vaccination. And then a lot of the restrictions we've been dealing with for over a year now will start falling. So it's critically important that you do get that vaccine. It's not going to be the pain it has been with trying to schedule appointments. Many of these places you can get in on a walk-in basis. So please do that. So I encourage you to do that. So let's go ahead and take a moment to remember those folks we've lost during this crisis. All right, thank you for that. We have an announcement, but let's go ahead and do that. This is our first announcement is a proclamation declaring June 4th to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the city of Tualatin. This proclamation will be read by Councilor Hillier. But I see Terry Mills and crew, the moms against with their orange t-shirts. I see Carol Brunow there. Welcome, good evening. So Councilor Hillier.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say thank you to all the hard work that Moms Demand Action here in our community and across our nation do to raise awareness. So I will read the proclamation declaring June 4th to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the city of Tualatin. Whereas every day, more than 100 Americans are killed by gun violence, alongside more than 230 who are shot and wounded. And on average, there are more than 13,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Oregon has an average of 522 gun deaths every year, with a rate of 11.9 deaths per 100,000 people, the 33rd highest rate of gun deaths in the US. And whereas cities across the nation are working to end this senseless violence with evidence-based solutions, and whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories, and whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence after more than a year of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in gun violence. And whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15, and on June 4th, 2021, to recognize the 24th birthday of Hadia Pendleton, born June 2nd, 1997. people across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, they chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to their hunters when out in the woods, to other hunters, when out in the woods. And orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas by wearing orange on June 4th, 2021, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Tualatin, Oregon, that June 4th, 2021 is National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the City of Tualatin. The community is encouraged to support efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor the value of human lives. Introduced and adopted this 24th day of May, 2021.
Thank you, Councilor Hillier. Terry, this is your moment to have a chat a bit with your fellow moms back there.
Thank you so much to you, Mayor Buvanek, and also the City Council of Tualatin for this recognition and this proclamation, which means a lot to us, especially, every day we turn on the news and there's another horrific, killing via a gun or a firearm. And we just learned today about the little boy in Florida that was gunned down when he was riding in his car seat home, with his mom. That was pretty shocking. And then, of course, what's going on in downtown Portland, too. So we really appreciate it. We hope that you will join us in wearing orange on June 4th. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing this to us every year. We've been supporting this for multiple years. And thank you for keeping the awareness up. And thank you for keeping us top of mind. Very much appreciate it. And you too, Carol. See you over there. All right. I'm going to interject an announcement. With Memorial Day coming this Monday, as many of you know, we pre-COVID, we would have Memorial Day events at the Winona Cemetery, but again, this year we cannot get together, but the flyover will occur. So if you want to mark your calendar at 11:40 a.m., the West Coast Ravens will fly over the Winona Cemetery on their way to Tigard. They'll be flying in a special formation that honors our fallen veterans. So please, if you remember, at 11:40, just put your eyes in the sky. They'll be coming from Woodburn, heading over the Winona Cemetery and heading over to Tigard. Ideally, it's going to be a beautiful day. They need about 3,000-foot ceiling. Last year they did it. It was tough to see them, but they did it. So again, I'm looking forward to next year to the ceremony back in the cemetery, along with the flyover. Got to give a shout out to Dale Potts. Dale Potts is the gentleman who arranges this every year with the West Coast Ravens. I just want to thank Dale for doing it again this year, and we look forward to the ceremony again next year in person at the cemetery. With that, that brings us to public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the City Council regarding an item that is not on tonight's agenda. Please keep your comments to about 3 minutes. If there's anyone in the Zoom meeting or at the poll center who would like to address the council, this would be the appropriate time. Do we have anyone that you're aware of, Bates?
Nobody that I'm aware of, Mayor. No one at the poll center. No one's messaged me.
All right. Is there anyone who wants to wave your hand or something so Bates can see you in the Zoom interface? Anybody? Oh, I see Tess. You're muted still, Tess.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for all the work that everybody's doing. And I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, but I'm the executive director for HomeShare Oregon. And we are working really hard to basically alleviate some of the challenges that we're having in terms of affordable housing by incentivizing homeowners to rent spare bedrooms to people who are in need of affordable housing. And I think that I might be on the agenda, but I'm not confident that I am. So,
you're
so
on the
I just,
agenda. You're on the agenda as
okay.
item number 2.
All right. Well, then I'll be quiet
Yeah, save
until
it.
that happens.
Yeah, save it
Thank
up.
you. Okay. Thank you.
Not a problem. Anyone else? All right. Okay, that brings us to the consent agenda. The consent agenda are those items that are considered routine. They will be adopted by one motion unless someone on the council would like an item removed and heard separately later tonight. Tonight, the consent agenda consists of item number 1, consideration of approval of the regular minutes of May 10th, 2021. Item number 2, consideration of approval of a new liquor license application for Affinity Wine Bar. Item 3, consideration of resolution number 5544-21, authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Durham for police services. Item 4, consideration of resolution number 5545-21, awarding the bid for the construction of the 2021 pavement maintenance program. Item number 5, consideration of resolution number 5546-21, authorizing solid waste and recycling rate adjustments beginning January 2022. Item number 6, consideration of resolution number 5547-21, authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement to provide municipal court services to the city of Durham. And finally, item number 7, consideration of resolution number 5548-21, authorizing changes to the fiscal year 2020-21 adopted budget. Would anyone on the city council like any of these items removed from consent tonight? All right. Councilor Pratt.
Move to adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda as read. Any discussions on those motions? All right. Councilor Hillier.
Aye.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Pratt.
Aye.
Councilor Sacco.
Aye.
Council President Grimes.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye also. They're all approved. Moving on to special reports. Our first special report tonight is a regional land use and transportation update.
Thank you, Mayor. Kelsey, if you could come on. Oh, there you are. So Kelsey's on screen now. I am thrilled to formally introduce Kelsey Lewis in her new role as policy analyst for the city of Tualatin. So Kelsey originally came to us in 2014 and has worked in several departments, most recently in public works. You may recognize her from her work on the capital improvement plan and Tualatin moving forward. Kelsey started as Tualatin's policy analyst in February of this year, and we're very excited to have her in that role. The policy analyst position is an important one here in Tualatin, with responsibility for 4 main things. 1, monitoring regional policy issues. So she goes to a lot of meetings, like Washington County Coordinating Committee, the Clackamas County Coordinating Committee, JPAC, and just